I got two. Yeah, me too.
I got 5:59 on the computer.
And I'd just like to let the audience know there are quite a few seats up front too.
It is 6 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. And we'll start with a roll call from my right.
Mark Schneider, Planning and Zoning.
Is your mic on?
Mark Schneider, Planning and Zoning.
Thank you.
Mitch Glines, Planning and Zoning.
Jeff Battenfuss, San Diego Township.
Kathy Sims, Kosowska Haven Township.
Dalton Keiderling, Orrock Township.
Francine Larson, Blue Hill Township.
Steve DeMules, Palmer Township.
Terrence Van Dyke, Clear Lake Township.
Butch Hass, Livonia Township.
Bruce Abel, Big Lake Township.
Gary Gray, Sherburne County Commissioner, District 4.
Don Nyhus, Sherburne County Attorney.
Lynn Watashik, Sherburne County Planning and Zoning Office.
Carrie Winter, Planning and Zoning.
Dan Weber, County Administration.
Brad Schumacher, District 5, County Commissioner.
There we go. Okay. We got to ask that all members on the board here have their mic on and speak directly into the mic when you are speaking. The meeting is, for information for everyone, the meeting is being recorded, both audio and visual, and that the Planning Commission is a recommending body. All of our proceedings heard tonight will be forwarded to the County Board of Commissioners on December 16th, 2025 at 9 a.m. All comments from tonight's meeting will be forwarded to the board. Are there any changes to the minutes or from last month? Has everybody had?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Secondly, are there any changes to the agenda for tonight?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Kathy and seconded by Steve, so all in favor?
Aye.
I think we'll proceed to agenda item number 1. Mr. Dave Jurek. And the property owners are Ewan Properties, request residential preliminary and final simple plat of Fun Farm consisting of one lot. PIDs 45-00016-2100 plus 45-0016-1200, Section 16, Santiago Township. Mr. Glines.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. As you mentioned, the property owners, Ewing Properties LLC, are requesting to split their property. Right now, they are proposed to have a 8.03 acre lot from a combined 71.35 acres. The remaining acreage will remain meets and bounds, will be combined to create 63.32 an acre parcel. San Diego Township did comment. They have no problem with proposed Fun Farm plat and has favorable comments. County Surveyor, the prelim attached addresses the county surveyor comments. As always, they reserve the right to review the final plat. David Rodell, Deputy County Engineer, approved with comment. The eastern access is approved to remain since it provides access to parcel 45-00016-1200 to continue farming. No park dedication fees. Per county records, the proposed lot 1, block 1 has an existing house built in 1920. Septic was inspected on April 4th, 2025 and deemed compliant. And one concern when people split off old farm sites from larger parcels is the accessory building square footage. However, this one with the proposed lot would be allowed to have 10,493 square feet of accessory buildings. The proposed lot has approximately 9,292 square feet, so it is under what would be allowed if this was approved. There are two conditions. One would be that they need to do a new legal for the 63.32 acres, the remnant piece, as shown here, packet attachment D, I believe. So this will be the remnant piece. This is the proposed lot, and that they need to record the plat within 1 year. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions, or the surveyor and property owner are in attendance to answer any questions as well.
Are there any questions for staff? None. Would the applicant please approach the podium? State your name and address for the record, please.
Yep. My name is David Jurek of Bogart Peterson Associates.
Pete Ewing, owner of Ewing Properties. Becker, own that piece of thing.
Can you state your addresses?
My home address? Is that what you?
Yep, any
okay. 13066 165th Avenue, Becker, Minnesota 55308.
If you just want to state Bogart's or.
13076 First Street, Becker.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for the applicant? None? Well, at this time, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone interested to speak on this issue would kindly step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and provide any comments, limiting their comment time to 3 minutes. Is there anyone out here to speak on this issue? Is there anyone here to speak on this issue?
Move to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is closed. What are the wishes of the board?
I just want to know who came up with the name, Fun Farm.
I think that would be my son.
Okay. All right.
Got married at the farm, so I guess it's a fun farm.
Okay. I've never heard of a fun, I mean, I've heard of a fun farm, but I like the title.
Thank you.
What are the wishes of the board?
Mr. Chair,
Sir.
I would make a motion to recommend approval of the plat with the
Two conditions, Jim.
two conditions.
Sorry.
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
Who's first? Bruce. Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the plat, both simple and preliminary plats. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. That's it. Thanks for coming. Again, this will be in front of the county board on December 16th. It'll be prudent for you to be here for that meeting, so. Thanks, good to see you, Dave.
Have fun.
Thank you, guys.
Agenda item number 2. Carol Zimmerman, property owner, Seavetter Lane, and Anthony Zimmerman. The issue is to revoke the existing conditional use permit for a farm-related business, wine bar, or set additional conditions on the existing CUP. It is PID 45-00021-2405, address 15913 41st Street, Becker, Section 21, Santiago Township, on 5 acres in the Ag District. Ms. Watoshik.
Yes, sir, thank you. So this is regarding complaints that we have received and violations that the county has noted on an existing CUP. The violation letters, 2 of them were sent in 2024, and an additional 6 letters were sent in 2025 for different violations. And I'd also like to add for the record, item H, which was emailed out to all the board members yesterday afternoon. Shortly after 3 o'clock, we received 15 additional comments, and all of those were emailed to you. In addition to that, I'd like to add attachment I. Yesterday, we also emailed to you the minutes from the April 2023 Planning Commission meeting and the minutes from the February 2025 Planning Commission meeting, so it would assist you in recalling what had happened previously. And then lastly, I'd also like to add item number J, which is the 6 additional comments that we received via email after 3 o'clock yesterday that we had not sent out to you. I did make copies of that, and each one of you received that prior to the meeting tonight. I handed it to you. If you could make sure that you review those additional comment letters that we received. So on May 16th, 2023, the Sherburne County Board approved a conditional use permit for the farm-related business wine bar with 18 conditions, and those were included in your board packet attachment E. In late August of 2024, a complaint was filed against Boulder Creek Wine Bar, indicating that it was not adhering to the conditions of their permit, specifically referencing issues with live music, food services, and days and hours of operation. A search of the business website, Boulder Creek Wine Bar, confirmed, along with Facebook postings and advertising, sip and shop events were held in June of 2024 and on September 21st of 2024. The description of these events on Facebook were annual shopping events with many vendors selling various goods. The hours listed for these events were from 1 to 5. There were many posts on Facebook with live music and food service trucks offered, and some of that information was contained in the board packet attachment B. On September 6 of 2024, zoning staff issued a notice of violation to the applicants, informing them that they were in violation of 4 conditions of their CUP, conditions number 1, 2, 8, and 10, and those were in board packet attachment F1. The applicant responded to the notice of violation and made some modifications to their final events of the season and stated moving forward they were going to work to amend their CUP and request an interim use permit to allow occasional special events. In 2024, the applicant requested to amend the CUP for the farm-related business, specifically to allow for the sale of prepackaged food and food trucks on the property, to allow additional vehicles and customers on site, and allow for live music on site. These requests were denied by the Sherburne County Board of Commissioners on May 6th of 2025. A letter dated March 10th, 2025 was sent to the property owners the letter was sent from our office, that the Minnesota Department of Public Safety did not have a record of a farm winery license for their business as required by state statute, which was condition number 4 of their conditional use permit, and that's contained in board packet attachment G1. A letter dated April 7th, 2025 was sent to the property owners that condition number 4 of their 2023 CUP also required a Sherburne County liquor license, and they had been operating without a county liquor license. That was in board packet attachment G2. A letter dated June 4th, 2025 was sent to property owners that the business exceeded allowed hours of operation on Saturday, May 24th, 2025, as late as 6:30 p.m., when the business was supposed to be closed at 6 p.m. That's board packet attachment G3. A letter dated August 4th, 2025 was sent to the property owners that the business exceeded the allowed hours of operation on Saturday, July 19th, 2025. 7 vehicles left the property between 6:05 and 6:28 p.m. The business was supposed to be closed at 6 p.m. That is in board packet attachment G4. A letter dated September 3rd, 2025 was sent to the property owners that there was a sign violation. More than one sign was up on the property near the driveway entrance. Ordinance and conditions only permit one business sign. and that letter is Board Packet Attachment G5. And finally, a letter was sent on October 7th, 2025 regarding a violation that occurred on October 5th, where a county sheriff's deputy observed that there were more vehicles on the property than what was allowed in the conditional use permit. At least 23 vehicles were parked on site, and the permit only allowed 20 vehicles. In addition, 3 vehicles left the property after 7 p.m. on October 3rd, 2025, and the business was supposed to be closed at 6 p.m., and that is in Board Packet Attachment G6. So what we have for the board in the rest of the packet is we have reasons for revocation, which was sent to you in your packet. And then we also have, if you choose to go with revised recommended conditions, if you choose not to revoke it, staff has a recommendation on what could be revised if you choose to go that route. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the board for the staff, please?
I'd like to comment, it was very thorough, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Is the applicant here, and if so, could you come to the podium and state your name and address? Again, comments will be limited to 3 minutes.
My name's Ian McCoy. I'm an attorney for the applicants. It's Carol Zimmer and Anthony Zimmer behind me.
Your address?
You want my address?
Yes, sir.
121 South 8th Street, Suite 1450, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55401.
Thank you. The applicants?
I'm Carol Zimmerman. My address is 15913 41st Street, Becker.
Anthony Zimmerman, 15913 41st Street, Becker, Minnesota, 55308.
Thank you. Are there any questions from staff for the applicants? If not, would their attorney have some say here?
I would, you said I have 3 minutes?
3 minutes, yes.
All right, so
yes,
I'll
sir.
punch through this real quick. I think the main dispute we have here is alleged COP violations involving business operations after hours. We disagree with the county's position that operating the business after 6 p.m. has ever occurred. It seems to be the county's position that vehicles not leaving the premises by 6 counts as business operations. My clients close up shop at 6. They operate a wine bar. 2 things they serve wine and a comfortable atmosphere to enjoy that wine. They do a last call, 5:30-ish, and they kick everyone out the door, proverbial door, it's outside, by 6. What happens is customers, sometimes they want to chat with their friends at their car, sometimes maybe they want to have a cigarette. They're not leaving the premises as alleged by 6, but the CUP doesn't have a limitation on when things need to be off the property. It has a limitation on when my clients can cease operating business, and they always do so by 6 p.m. We would actually agree with the county that the proper action is to revise the CUP, add in a separate sentence that states all vehicles for customers have to be off the property by 7, close at 6, off by 7, we believe is a reasonable time period to have people off the property by. I would also note that, for example, in the most recent CUP violation letter, they allege 3 vehicles didn't leave until after 7. This location is also the client's home. They have adult children. The adult children have friends as well. The Zimmermans have friends. They have people over that are not customers of the wine bar. And the county is not and has not determined, who is leaving at what time. They seem to be counting everyone that is not the Zimmermans themselves leaving as a customer leaving after 6. Other than that, I would note, they mentioned the food violation in 2024. We don't see any food violations in 2025. There's some confusion for my clients about the rules involving food and drink. Once it was made clear to them, they ceased all food and all music. Nothing has happened in 2025. They've cured that issue. As it relates to the liquor license matter, there was some confusion again for my client. They got a winery license. At the state level, a winery license is enough to sell wine at their establishment. Upon further review and advice from the county, they came to understand that CUP required a liquor license even if they're not selling liquor, even if the winery license would be enough. That's why they got a liquor license. A packet we provided to you shows an application for a liquor license in 2023, the background check for it, because they initially were going to get a liquor license, and then someone at the county said, hey, winery license is enough to sell wine, and they stopped because of that. Once they were informed that the CUP required a liquor license no matter what other rules existed, they went and got a liquor license. They still have a liquor license. They paid for one for the half of 2025, and they've just updated it again to have a 2025 to 2026 liquor license as well. Thank you.
How about the county's license?
They do currently have a county license.
Mr. Chair,
Sir.
I have a question for staff. Is this a farm-related business or is this a wine bar? What is the requirement for a farm-related business?
A farm-related business, I believe, states that you have to utilize local agricultural commodities, and in the discussions previously, it was stated by the Zimmermans that they utilize items out of their garden, and in addition to that, she was going to buy stuff from local farmers markets and farms in the area in order to make her wine. That's what I recall.
Is local produce, is that state, county, or township?
I don't believe that the regulations are specific to that.
Okay. And there's a certain percentage that needs to be introduced into the product?
Again, I'm not aware that there's a certain percentage. I think there may have been at one time, but my recollection is that was removed.
So they wouldn't necessarily have to have a wine, establishment? They wouldn't have to have a vineyard in order to do this?
Correct.
Okay.
Would it be helpful if I recited the farm-related business definition from the ordinance? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
The zoning ordinance for Sherburne County, Section 16, Subdivision 2.8 defines farm-related businesses. Business directly related to the conduct of commercial agriculture provided, A, the business is primarily farm-related under one of the or more of the following criteria. 1, the business provides a repair or maintenance service for equipment unique and necessary to agricultural operations. 2, the business produces a product or involves a process that utilizes locally grown or produced commodities. 3, the business involves sales and or purchasing of products of the local agricultural economy or of goods unique and necessary to agricultural operations. B, sewage is treated by an on-site sewage system and in accordance with Section 17.5 of this ordinance. C, the business is of a scale that the demand for support services such as sewer, water, police, fire protection, roads, or streets can be accommodated within the context of service levels available in the agricultural district. D, the business is operated in conformance with the conditions of an approved plan of operation. E, the applicant submits a copy of workers' compensation insurance or signs an affidavit stating that he will not have any employees.
Thank you.
Yeah. It doesn't answer my questions. But I understand it.
Are there any other questions for staff or for the applicants? None?
Do the Zimmermans buy local strawberries and rhubarb and grapes and stuff to make their homemade wines, or where does some of your percentage of your produce come from that you use for making your homemade wines?
Sure, they grow it, but I think Carol can.
Okay. So I do grow some. So I grow some rhubarb and some grapes and some apples that I use directly. I actually get some rhubarb from some neighbors, and then I buy other grapes, and then I buy other juice. So I have about 4 or 5 different vendors that I get it from. But the farm winery license, like Lynn said, it used to say 51% of our product has to come from Minnesota. And then it was changed like 10 years ago maybe. And the definition now is that a reasonable amount needs to come from the state of Minnesota. We have quite a bit that comes directly from our own property and from our neighboring property.
Thank you.
Roughly what percentage is coming from your farm?
I am gonna say 20%, because a lot of the grapes, and this is why it changed, is a lot of the wines can't be grown in Minnesota. So if you get those drier wines, you can't grow them in Minnesota. So the fruits and the sweeter wines, then they can be, but that's why there was a big lawsuit with a big winery in Minnesota, and they changed it because we can't sell like drier wines, okay?
And how many gallons do you make a year in your winery approximately? Like 5,000 or 2,000 or?
Oh, no. Maybe, I don't even know if it's 1,000. I have to report to the Minnesota Department of Revenue every single month, year-round, and they go by liters of what, so I have to report how much liters I have at the beginning of the month, how much I've made and what I've made, and then how much I have sold at the end, or how much I have on property at the end of the month. But I don't even think it's 1,000 gallons. I think it's maybe 4, 5, maybe 600. That's about it.
Any other questions?
Are customers allowed to bring their own drinks or food from off premises?
So they do not bring their own drinks, but they can bring their own food. They bring like cheese and crackers or sandwiches or whatever.
Any other questions? At this time, we'll open a public hearing. Again, anyone here wishing to speak on this issue, approach the podium, recite your name and address for the record, and limit your comments to 3 minutes of time. Does anyone want to speak on this issue?
Good evening, my name is Tammy Hallberg. I live at 3932 161st Avenue. So I'm a neighbor. I am, how I heard first about this, I had 2 young men show up at my door with a petition for this bar. And when they got done with their spew and everything that was going on, I thought I had the Hells Angels living down the road from me here. And I'm not one to sign a petition without investigating it. So I said, not at this time, I'm gonna look into this. So I did my own investigation. And what I discovered, and I'm kind of appalled by this, that we have a few in our neighborhood that are bullying, that are telling lies, and causing ruckus in our neighborhood with lies. And I don't understand it. I don't see an increase in traffic. I don't see a problem with cars. We have more problem with cars of people just visiting other houses or driving their 4-wheelers and their dirt bikes up and down our road. Okay? It hasn't caused a problem. There hasn't been an issue. And more as I looked into it, I discovered it was a small group of people that are spreading these lies, trying to get us shut down because they have a personal vendetta with the Zimmermans. And I did not serve 20 years in the military to allow a bully in my neighborhood. So I am here saying these problems in our neighborhood are not there. I don't understand why there is a complaint. I have noticed no increase. I didn't even know about this place until it showed up on Google Maps. And that was a year ago. Because there has been no change or disruption in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak on this issue?
Jeffrey Thornton. I live at 1834 Wand Avenue here in Elk River, 55330.
Naomi Thornton, 1823 Wand Avenue, or sorry, 1830, what is our address? 1834, I'm so sorry. 1834 Wand Avenue, Northwest Elk River.
I just want to say we've been regulars since basically the day they opened. We've almost never missed a single weekend. And I can tell you right now off the bat, when they're at 6 o'clock when their close time, they go grab their sign, they pull it in, they quit selling, they close out the tabs and everything. There are days that some of us, we hang out and we talk and, you know, relax after closing time like anybody else would on a weekend, but they quit selling alcohol, they closed down the business. I mean, and every time we've been there, there's never been loud, rambunctious music, and nobody's, you know, it's not a wild, rambunctious crowd. It's people sitting down having wine, you know, eating cheese and whatnot, just talking. It's a very low-key group. So I guess I don't understand what the complaints are, but, yeah.
I've known Tony Zimmerman probably for 5 years now. I work with him on a professional level as well. I've gotten to know him pretty well, and then he introduced me to the wine bar, to this idea that him and his wife had. So I showed up at the wine bar, brought this man with me, and I mean, it's always been chill. Carol and Tony are amazing human beings. They're very sweet, very considerate, and they follow the rules. Whenever something comes up, they fix it. They deal with it head on. So I mean, every time I've been at the bar, I've never seen anything. There's never been any drama. It's always been laughing, having fun. Even when they did have live music, when they were allowed to, it was always at a decent level. Like, it was never disruptive in any way. I mean, I don't see any issue here. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak on this issue?
Hi, my name is Pam Price, and I live at 15597 41st Street. I've tried to come up with something new to say that you haven't heard before to convince you that this bar should not be in a residential neighborhood. You have heard from the neighbors that since the bar opened, it has brought in additional noise, traffic, and unsafe situations, such as potential intoxicated drivers. Recently, the bar's owner has harassed neighbors as they took their daily walk down 41st Street. These altercations have been reported to Sherburne County Office and are on record. Ms. Zimmerman has also had filed a restraining order on one of the neighbors, which was denied twice. At several of the board meetings, the Zimmerman stated that they would follow and abide by all 18 CUP conditions, but that didn't happen. The actions of the Zimmermans speak for themselves is why the CUP should be revoked. The first year they were open, they didn't even have a liquor license. They had food trucks, live music, and special events, all clearly stated in the CUP that these were not allowed. When the county warned them of these infractions, the Zimmermans continued with some of them. They continued to break the conditions of closing time after receiving violation letters in September of 24, June of 25, and August of 25. When asked how the number of cars and customers would be controlled, Mr. Zimmerman said that he would self-police. During the last weekend the bar was open this past October, the sheriff was called as neighbors noted that there were more than 20 cars at the bar. When the sheriff told Ms. Zimmerman she would have to reduce her customer count, her response was, "How am I supposed to do that?" That response shows that they were not self-policing. I believe it's safe to assume that if there were too many cars, there would be too many customers. Also in the CUP, it states only residents of the property were to work at the bar. When I visited the bar, Carol's daughter and her neighbor were working there. Neither of them live on the property. How many times is the county going to close their eyes on the infractions and the violations the Zimmermans keep committing before the CUP is revoked? Their actions speak louder than any of the neighbors' complaints. I hope the concerns of the actual neighbors of the bar have a bigger impact on your decision with the bar's future than the patrons' concerns. The patrons do not have to deal with the additional noise, traffic, safety concerns, and harassment that we have dealt with since the bar opened. Thank you.
Ma'am, I have one question for you.
Yes.
Compared to the Zimmermans, what lot are you on? Are you next door, or are you multiple?
We are down the street, at the end of the street.
How many lots away, roughly?
We don't have blocks.
How many lots, I mean?
5, 6,
5
we're in
lots?
the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, question for the ma'am in the purple. You said you were on that road as well. Same question.
I'm 3 lots away.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak on this issue?
Hello, my name is Laurel Trisco, and I live across the street from the Zimmermans at 15912 41st Street. I also spoke at the last hearing, and so along with some of the others, I'm not sure what more can be said, but I am in full support of Tony and Carol's business and wine bar. There have been no disruptions to the neighborhood as I have seen. As far as noise complaints, there is nothing that I would like to make note of that. Just like the lawyer had said, like there's family and friends that we all live in the neighborhood of the people who are in support of them are there. It's important to know that, and I find it very, very interesting that that it's said that there can't be other people working the wine bar, especially daughters, and I find that interesting, whether it's part of the CUP or not, I don't know, but thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Jody Rosati. I live at 21979 County Road 79 in Elk River.
Jason Rosati, County Road 79, 21979 County Road 79.
So we clearly are not neighbors. We are happy patrons who stumbled upon this amazing wine bar in Sherburne County. We have lived in Sherburne County for about 6 years, and one of the things that we think is the best thing about Sherburne County is what it means to be a neighbor in Sherburne County. It means we value peace, privacy, autonomy, and we extend that same respect to our neighbors, even if it means that where we live, our neighbor likes to do target shooting. Maybe they mow their grass early on a Saturday morning, or they ride recreational vehicles, but they have that right. That's part of the beauty of living in Sherburne County. We came from a cul-de-sac neighborhood where everybody knew what everybody was doing. That's not what Sherburne County is about. This is a small business, and small business is what we all want in our communities. There's a ripple effect when there's a small business. I don't see how this is any different than a childcare center where there are cars arriving in the morning and parents drop off, cars arriving in the evening, parents picking up. We've been there when there was music prior to the stoppage of that. It was at such a conversational level. I have neighbors who play music louder than that in a boombox. So I think that this is a local business in a great county, and I see them just being very respectful of their neighbors, the county, and the rules that they have.
And I'd like to add that when we have been there, again, 6 o'clock, they're done. I've seen Tony multiple times go out and take that sign down. I guess I didn't know it was a violation to have 2 signs on my property. But again, I want to reiterate my wife's point that, yeah, we moved out here so people can live and do their things that they want to do. The Zimmermans are trying to operate a business 2 weekends a month. They could have a party every weekend. They could call it a graduation party. They could call it a wedding celebration, a birthday, whatever. They could do it, and you could do nothing about it. But because they chose to do it legally, follow the process, here we are tonight. So, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mitchell Sockery. Currently, I live at 9192 185th Avenue, Southeast Becker. When I lived in the neighborhood, I was at 15940 41st Street, Becker, Minnesota, right across from the lot of the Zimmermans. So, I'm Mitchell Sockery, and I lived in the neighborhood until after Christmas of 2024 and still maintain a presence in the neighborhood. Since the beginning of the bar, the Zimmermans have been non-compliant to their CUP, even though they said to the county that they understood and will abide by all conditions set forth by the CUP. There have been numerous violations, 4 just this year with letters of violations, including operating past closing time, loud amplified music, which I have recordings of at karaoke at 10 p.m. at night. And for the record, the CUP never allowed loud music or amplified music of any kind. You can look that up in the CUP. food trucks, and not to mention that they operate without a liquor license. What kind of precedence does this set for other small businesses, and what kind of image does this set for Sherburne County? It looks like from the beginning, the Zimmermans were planning on utilizing CUP creep to make this small winery into a dive bar in the middle of a residential neighborhood. This bar in a residential neighborhood has created a deep divide where those who are genuinely concerned and want to say something are harassed, taken frivolously to court, and feel unsafe to stand up against the Zimmermans. If I recall correctly, the liquor license states that good character plays into whether or not it is granted, which there is more than enough evidence to suggest it should not have been granted. I deeply thank the county for taking the time to review this matter and urge the county to revoke the Zimmerman's CUP for the Boulder Creek Wine Bar. While I've moved out of the neighborhood, I fear for the safety of the families and those that reside in the neighborhood. And while everyone laughs at me, I remember when they had their wedding reception, and let's just say that in the IUP, that was one of the events they wanted to have host. There were cars lined up against 41st Street, and there were golf carts going up and down, people that had obviously been drinking and were very rambunctious. And when I grew up on the same road where we have dirt bikes and four-wheelers going on, which that's why people move out there, because there's not a bar. And when I want kids to live the same life that I did, where it's rural and secluded, there's privacy, that's what I would want.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Hello, Katie Lane, 7267 147th Lane, Ramsey, Minnesota. I am obviously not a Sherburne County resident. I am a daughter and a volunteer worker at the wine bar. I do not get paid. Okay? It is not just a business, it is my home. We've lived there for 10 years. Tony's lived there for 20 plus years. And from what I've known, it's a very lovely neighborhood. I ideally would like to live in something like this when I grow up. But yeah, the wine bar one, the wedding was before the wine bar was even open. And again, any neighborhood, any resident could have any sort of event at their house at any point, as long as I would ideally hope respectful of the neighbors. And I know for a fact we went around asking. There's been cordial meetings with fellow neighbors that now are trying to, quote unquote, harass us and vice versa. I just don't necessarily understand. We've never left, we've never served after 6 p.m., ever, okay? Yes, I stay after, it's my home. People stay after, they talk, okay? That's part of a community. I'm leaving at 7 o'clock in the middle of October. Yep, we left for dinner, some friends and I, that came to pick me up and go. And that was one of the complaints that was said. I feel like we're humans, we make mistakes, and we are very, very willing to change and work with you guys and come compliant with all the CUPs and revise and hopefully continue this and create a community for not just Becker, but the whole area, whole county. I do feel, I don't really understand how others are fearful of our business. I do get recorded every single time I enter my home. Okay? My car enters and they know I'm here. I'm a smaller human. It is kind of freaky, to be honest, that every single time I enter and leave my home, that I have to be recorded. Okay? Talk about being scared, right? So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more comment. My name is Laurel Trisco. I'm at 15912 41st Street. Katie, I'm not sure if what you're referring to is the camera that is at the edge of my property and the Socrates that is pointed at Tony and Carol's driveway. And so harassment can go both ways.
Thanks again. Anyone else wish to speak?
My name is Allie New. I live at 15851 41st Street, Becker, Minnesota. I am a neighboring property of Tony and Carol's.
Michael New, 15851 41st Street, Becker, 55308. We are directly to the west.
To the west?
Last name again?
New. NEU.
I think I really just wanted to come up and say that we are still in support of the wine bar. We've said a lot of things in the past, you've all heard it before, but I don't see a problem with the wine bar. I am there many weekends as well, and I do know they close at 6 or they stop serving at 6. But yes, sometimes people do linger, and sometimes they stop at the restroom, the outhouse, before they get in their car and leave, or have a cigarette before they go. It's really hard to assure that people leave the property by 6. Although I am sure that if that were to be part of the CUP, that people would comply. It just has never been before. I also just wanted to say that, you know, some of these other events that were discussed, like weddings or karaoke late at night, we live in the neighborhood too. We attend birthday parties, we host birthday parties. Our kids also have a karaoke machine that they sing in, probably not at 10:30 at night, but I think that's a pretty normal part of living where we live and just being able to relax in the atmosphere. I also did have some concerns about that video camera that is pointed at Tony and Carol's property. It's really unsettling knowing that I am driving by that video camera every single day as well and being watched. It's right next to my kids' bus stop where they get on the bus. It's kind of creepy to me that potentially they're being watched when they're getting on and off the bus each day. I think harassment goes both ways as well.
I just wanted to add that with 3 young children, I'm more fearful of the four-wheelers and the dirt bikes hitting the embankment on my driveway than I am in fear of drunk driving from this wine bar. Everybody has a drink or two, they conversate, they have their cheese that they bring, and then they go about their way. It's not an overserved place. It's not a dive bar. It's a wine bar with a great atmosphere. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Victor Vorobiev. I live down on the other end of
Address,
the neighborhood.
please.
What's up?
Your address?
3900 161st Street.
Thank you.
So I don't really know too much about the situation, but I have been encountered on it. I have been about a lot down, maybe a house down, and I have been almost hit several times. I was on my scooter, I was on my ripstick, and I have been swerved at, I have been flicked off, I have been cussed at, and I get it, it's a small business, you know, it's a small operation, but it's not a little restaurant, it's not something that, it's just a little party. This is liquor, this is wine, this is alcohol, it's dangerous. One person might have a drink, they might be fine. Another person might have a drink, and they may be swerving off into a ditch, almost hitting a child. A four-wheeler has a lot less probability of hitting a child than someone who is drunk. Sounds good. That is all I have. I don't have anything legal coming from this. This is just something from my heart that I don't think this is, you know, something that should just be, oh, it's just a little business, it's fine. This is alcohol, it's dangerous. Thank you for your time.
And same question, where are you in regards east, west on the road?
North of me.
North to the side, kind of like on 161st, like that and up.
Okay.
So not too far, but pretty far. But I ride around the neighborhood, I drive around the neighborhood, I have friends around the neighborhood. So I see what's going on and I live there, so it's not something just I'm out of the neighborhood and I don't see it, but thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Natalie Roscoe. I live on 41st Street, 16345, Becker, Minnesota. I'm 13 years old, and I've been recorded by Ms. Zimmerman and taken pictures of. Also my brother, too. He is 12 years old right now, and I feel unsafe about that.
Hello, good evening. My name is Adina Coop, and I live at 16095 41st Street, Becker, Minnesota. One morning, Carol approached me on the street this summer after recognizing me as being someone who opposes the bar because I attend all these county board meetings. She spoke down to me as if I had no right to oppose her business. When I refused to engage in her aggressive questioning, she stormed off, muttering profanities as she walked away. Name-calling is it's not an okay behavior, and it's not necessary in the neighborhood. I changed the time of my morning walk to avoid Carol so that I could continue to enjoy my peaceful morning walks. And I know that a part of everyone's points made here, a lot of customers get to speak up at these meetings. And I'm all for freedom of expression, but Zimmermans have gradually, but it's unfair for the bar's customers to influence the resolution of the CUP issue as they don't live next to the Zimmermans. They don't live on the same street as we do. They don't live in the cul-de-sac. We're the ones who have to endure increased traffic noise, online scrutiny, and harassment from the customers. Zimmermans have gradually become more hostile towards the neighbors that aren't in support of their bar. By attending these county board meetings and speaking our opinion on the matter, we've been flipped off, harassed on social media, and made to feel like outcasts in our own neighborhood. This bar has created division, turning neighbor against neighbor. As a neighbor, I wish to be treated with love and kindness. Ironically, the Zimmermans' business slogan promotes these values as well. Yet those of us who oppose the bar, the neighbors, have never felt that love or kindness since the bar opened 3 years ago. The bar has received 4 violations in 5 months this year alone, and several more the past year. These were public violations that were caught. But think about the number of additional violations that could have slipped past the county and the neighbors' watch throughout the last 3 years. We cannot rely on the Zimmermans to police compliance of the CUP and report to the county when violations happen. Think about this. Were the Zimmermans forthcoming and honest with the county in reporting the violations of Condition 8, the hours of operation on May 24th or October 3rd? Or violation Condition 7, exceeding the number of vehicles? We, the neighbors, do not wish to police them to ensure compliance. That is not our job. But since non-compliance continues to happen, and we live right next door, we feel it's our obligation to keep our neighborhood safe. We want to return to the way things were 4 years ago before this bar and all of its associated controversy so that we may once again enjoy our peaceful neighborhood. The wine bar must face the consequences of violating the CUP, and I hope you take swift action to revoke their permit. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My name is Tim Sockery. My wife and I reside at 15940 41st Street, Becker, Minnesota. The bar's farm-related business CUP should be revoked for 2 primary reasons. Number 1, the establishment does not meet the 3 required criteria for a CUP. Hindsight, the CUP should have never been granted in the first place. Number 2, the owners have repeatedly violated nearly all of the CUP conditions as documented by Sherburne County. From day 1, the bar operated outside the approved conditions, hosting amplified live music and food trucks, continuously violating the hours of operation, including extra events and special events, and continuing to disregard the CUP terms through the final days of operation of 2025 with excessive vehicles allowed on the site at one time. Patrons describe the bar as quiet or a nice establishment, but they are unaware of the extent of the CUP violations and the nuisance traffic it has brought to what was once a peaceful residential neighborhood. The number of vehicles frequenting the bar is more than the number of homes in our neighborhood, and the unwanted excessive traffic is a nuisance. Part of the bar's CUP conditions is to have 2 liquor licenses. Sherburne County informed neighbors who do not want or need a bar in our neighborhood that character of the bar we have shared with the county that Carol Zimmerman tried unsuccessfully to put a restraining order on me because of my opposition of the bar in our resident, quiet neighborhood. It was denied twice. A frivolous lawsuit, which the judge documented there was no evidence. My wife is gone for her daily walk. Carol Zimmerman has harassed my wife by calling her derogatory names such as a piece of crap, and on another occasion, a psychopath, which is recorded, and the video has been shared with Sherburne County Commissioners and the Sheriff's Department. The bar has violated almost all the conditions and has received multiple letters of violation. It has put neighbors against neighbors. What was once a great neighborhood has now become a hostile one. You are either for the bar or against the bar. If you're against it, there's hostility and retaliation as shown from the documented video of the bar owner and also recent posts on Facebook. The Planning and Zoning Administrator, who granted the CUP, is now asking for revocation. You need to follow through with this request.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Alicia Hanson, 3100 Virginia Avenue South, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55426. I just wanted to put it on record that the last violation complaint, it's baseless in my opinion. I'm a friend of Carol's daughter. We came up from the cities after work on a Friday that's after 5 p.m. dealing with rush hour traffic. We got there at 5:50. We had wine, but we were not charged for it. We were guests. We enjoyed our drinks while they closed up the bar, and afterwards, we all went out to dinner. So I just want to make it very, very clear that October 3rd, that was us. We were not customers. We are guests, and for them to be policed like that it's uncalled for and it's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Tim Price, 15597 41st Street. Like my wife, we've talked at almost all these meetings in our opposition to the wine bar. We were like the third house built in that neighborhood back in the day, 26 years ago. Our neighborhood had been just this quiet, peaceful neighborhood. It's, you can see where Tony, we're down to the left at the very end, on the end of the cul-de-sac. The whole intent, my opposition has been that a bar does not belong in this kind of a neighborhood. And I went doing some research on the farm winery licenses that the state issues. And on their website, they talked about that the state was really pushing that industry for tourism, the added revenue that it would bring into the state. That's not a farm. If you look at their property, that's not a farm. There was just recently one wine vineyard that opened up in Foley that's been well publicized, open year-round. They have acres and acres of vines that they use to produce their wine. You look at their site, I mean, you can barely even see the garden. So the vast majority of what wine they're producing has got to be coming from someplace else. It's not, in my mind, a farm business. Tony runs his landscaping business out of that, off the same property, which has been there since he moved there. He built shortly after we did. It's just our opposition has been, and most of the people that are talking in opposition, is the fact that this is a type of business that does not belong in a residential neighborhood, which is what this always has been up until the last 3-4 years. It's just, like it was made a comment already, this thing is tearing the neighborhood apart. Because if you're against them, you're some evil person that doesn't want a small business to succeed. I've got no problem if she wants to make her wine and go sell it at, a farmer's market or something like that. The problem is the amount of traffic that it's bringing in down the street on these several weekends. I mean, their house is part of the dead-end street. Without that business there, there wouldn't be any traffic except for the people that live there. The occasional person that gets lost and comes down, circles around, and gets out of there. It is not a place for this type of a business to reside. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nina Vorobiev. I'm living 3900 161st Avenue, Becker. And so I'm against this bar because it's, in first place, it's alcohol. We have many kids around in the house. I have grandkids coming to our house either, and we not let them to go drive on bikes or scooters because we're scared. So many cars passing by, and who knows how they drunk or not. It's a little bit dangerous for the kids in neighborhood because sometimes when the car pass our street, they stop on our driveway, look at our house, and look for the kids, like check out what's going on and pass by again. It's every time, like many times, sometimes 2-3 times a day, sometimes like in the weekends either. I'm really worried about the safety for the kids. This is my first things to worry about safety, not for the alcohol. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak on this issue?
Good evening. My name is Shalene Sacre, and I live at 15940 41st Street in Becker. I believe the neighbors and the board were misled from the very beginning. We were told the bar would be a very small wine bar and that Carol would grow grapes in her garden to produce the wine. We were assured they understood and would comply with all 18 conditions of their CUP. Neither of those assurances would prove true. Had the Zimmermans simply followed their CUP, we would not be here tonight. For the past 3 years, the bar has continued a pattern of non-compliance with 4 violation letters issued just in the past year. It's clear that adherence to the CUP has been repeatedly ignored. Operating a business that sells alcohol in a residential neighborhood carries serious responsibility, and the owners must be held accountable for failing to follow the conditions set in place to protect our families. I have always advocated for the safety and well-being of the children in our community. It is concerning enough to have a bar situated within a family neighborhood, more concerning that its owners refuse to follow the required rules and conditions established by you, the county. My neighbors and I should be able to speak up to protect our families against the non-compliant establishment selling and serving alcohol in our residential neighborhood without facing intimidating confrontations. We should be able to walk on our neighborhood roads without being subjected to harassment and name-calling from the bar owner, which I have recorded and reported to Sherburne County deputies. I really worry about the young walkers in our neighborhood. The Zimmermans were given a chance to operate a small business by the county. They chose not to follow the CUP rules from the very beginning. In all the years this bar has been in operation, they have never fully complied with their CUP. It's time to hold them accountable and revoke it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is David Roscoe. I live at 16345 41st Street, just down the street from County Road 11, closer to 11. I'd like to add to, my daughter spoke out here earlier that the harassment from Carol, she made it more of a racial harassment, calling him Russian. And I don't think that ever since we've been objecting to the bar in the neighborhood, she can build a bar, but don't build it in a residential neighborhood. That's all I have to say. So please reconsider, revoke the license. She can do it somewhere else. perhaps in Elk River or Minneapolis on a busy road. Highway 10, I don't object to that, but not in a residential area. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Tracy Dowd, 15820 57th Street in Becker. Everybody keeps referring to this as a bar, you know, this rowdy whatever. It is not that like that at all. It's set back off the road. It's just such a calm, relaxing area to be at. It's wonderful. There's all these violations have been taken care of. They keep referring back to 2024. They already changed all that. And the stuff for this year, wasting our law enforcement to count cars, come on, that's ridiculous. I am totally against shutting that down. Make them follow the rules. They already do. They do not serve after closing, ever. Guaranteed.
Thank you.
My name's Jeff Doubt. I live at 15820 57th Street, Becker. I live about 3/4 of a mile from their house. We go over there. We have a good time. We sit and talk. But yeah, after hours, when they close down, we know these people. We stand there and talk to them. My son's into construction. He's into construction. And I have four-wheelers. He has four-wheelers. We sit and talk about this after hours, but it ain't like we're raising hell there. We are not doing that. People are just standing around talking. So all this traffic, I don't get.
I don't see it.
I mean, yeah, there's a few cars that come in and out, but if we're going over there to visit and not just to drink their wine, if we're going over to visit, what's the difference if we go over to visit or if we go over there and have wine? What's the difference? I don't know.
If it's after hours, there's no wine being sold, period.
Right, and we're friends, so friends are gonna come and go. It's the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason Rosati, 21979 County Road 79 Elk River. Just an additional comment. They're open, this street you talk about that's, you know, we've got four-wheelers going up and down it and motorcycles, but they're open 2 weekends a month. So I think there's more time that the wine bar is not open. And again, when they are open, it's from noon to 6. Hours are set. They're following the rules. It's not like this thing's running 24/7. And it's interrupting the peace and the safety of your neighborhood all day long, every weekend. So that should be considered.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I just would want to remind ladies and gentlemen, regardless of what your comments are, the purpose of the 3 minutes is to have one speaker for those 3 minutes, not repeated comments from the same speaker. Thank you.
Hi, Jessica Klesk, 20277, 215th Avenue, Big Lake. I've just been sitting here, this is my first meeting that I've been to in support of the Boulder Creek Wine Bar. But I've been just kind of taking notes and I have to put my reading glasses back on, sorry. So it might be kind of jumbled, so I apologize. But it kind of sounds to me like they've, they're trying to start a small business in our county. Which is absolutely wonderful, and we should be trying to do anything that we can to support that. And the CUP rules, yes, they have a list of CUP rules. It sounds like she's been, they've been trying to abide by them, and when things have come up and they, have violations, they're doing what they can to, to fix the problems so that they're in compliance. Also sounds as if there's been some confusion. Just with some of the things, especially like the licenses and stuff like that. I mean, if she's trying to get the right licenses, but then she's told something else, what is she supposed to do? So, making sure that you're in compliance with all of that. Just like with a customer going to any bar or restaurant, you plan for a sober ride. every time we go, we have one person that they're the designated driver, and the rest of us are gonna sit and enjoy the wine. And that person gets like a bottle of water or some other non-alcoholic beverage. Like the last person just said, hard to believe that all of these bad things happen and there's all this extra traffic when they're only open every other weekend in, you know, the few months of our summer. Someone said that most of the neighbors are not in support of this. There have actually been a lot of neighbors here that I can tell that are in support of the wine bar. And also I'd like to point out too that there's a lot of assumptions and not a lot of facts. I mean, maybe some things are facts, but even things like cars leaving the property after 6 o'clock, that might be a fact because you have video footage, but you're turning that fact into an assumption that those people or that the business is actually running after 6 o'clock. And that doesn't sound like that's true at all. So they're abiding by the rules that are in the CUP. And so the ultimate request on this too is to amend the CUP so that that one violation that has been coming up multiple times, that they can now, it's more clear as to what the rule is, and they can ensure that they abide by that rule and their customers abide by that rule. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Is there anyone else wish to speak on this issue?
Hi, my name is Peter Coop, and 15850 41st Street, and I live across the street, kind of in an angle, just next to the.
Could you speak a little closer to the microphone, please? Thank you.
Yeah, we live across, you know, and we're already there for 26 years, and I know Mr. Zimmerman. For how many years we are there? He's there, nice guy. Yeah, but why now? With all this problem, my nationality is German. We came from the USSR. You know, we came over here. My nationality is German, and we some of in the area there. They came from USSR too, some of the families. And different languages too. Why call us Russians? We have enough of you already here. In that area, just where we live. Yeah, we have 3 families, our 2 sons and daughter, and they have grandkids. I mean, our grandkids.
Sir, excuse me, this is a zoning issue.
Yeah, but
if you could stick to that, we'd be grateful.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
But a thing, for so many years we were there, in that zone, yeah. And why call us names? It's not good. We have neighbors there, no problem. We never had problems with that, with the people around there. What kind of a problem?
Can you be specific who's calling you a name, though?
Huh?
Can you be specific on who's calling you a name?
No. Me, no. You can say, you know, Mr. Zimmerman and his wife, they don't flip me off, nothing, but they do to our grandkids. Maybe he's not doing what she does, you know, and it's not good. It's not good. We live there. We moved to Becker and build houses there, away where it's quiet and nice. And, you know, I don't get it. Why? I'm here already. We are 35 years in the United States, citizens, 32 years I lived in USSR, and I'm an American here, and I was called, I don't know why, it was called stupid Russian. I was called fascist and everything. Oh, I'm sorry, but calling names, it's not good. Not good. Everybody's speaking English.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else wish to speak on this issue? I am to mention, though, once we close this public hearing, this will be the last word. So any additional comments rendered to the county or the county boards will be disregarded. So is there anyone else wish to speak?
Hello, my name is Patrick Frost. I live at 10371 Grouse Street in Coon Rapids. I've had little experience going to the wine bar itself, but the couple times I have been there, there's been a couple customers that have arrived. They've been really pleased with how quiet and nice the environment was. They thought it was really cool to be able to, excuse me, learn about it. Just bringing people into the county because I know there was, for instance, there was a small group of people that were up in St. Cloud, and they're like, we're just trying to find a nice, quiet place to have a nice night, or a nice day, excuse me. And they found that online, and they thought it was really nice to be able to like go to a local, quiet spot. I think it sounds like a lot of the people that have complaints haven't actually attended or even gone there. That's kind of the impression I've picked up throughout the night, but that's just a personal opinion. But yeah, I mean, just like anything else, it's one of those things where you kind of have to experience it firsthand to know if it's a good space and good environment. But I just wanted to comment that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wish to speak on this issue?
Hi, my name is Andrei Bushmik. I'm living 3933 161st Avenue, couple house away from that. Guys, so I just want to say, the people who not live there, I think he have no right to speak because it's a conflict of interest. They come as the visitor. They come just have a couple drink. I don't know how much they drink there. Maybe some of them drunk. That's the most concern of, like, I got a kid. I moved that area 10 years ago because that area is quiet. I like all the neighbors, but now it's unsafe. So my kid drive bicycles, scooters. I'm kind of worried once they start driving to their friend's house because I don't know how much that guy can drink there. So like each bar, some of the bar in the city drink too much and you don't know what's happening. If somebody hit the kids, I know some friend of mine, his child was killed by the drunk driver. And I'm worried about. So probably we don't need a bar in our neighborhood. But all the people who came from other locations like Elk River or some other cities, yeah, of course they're gonna say, yeah, we need that bar, but they're not living there. So just, I think only us have to decide what it could be on our street or not. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak on this issue? Yes, sir.
My name is Duke Klusk. I'm at 20277 215th Avenue, Big Lake, Minnesota. I've been to the wine bar multiple times. It's a very nice establishment, like others have attested to here. And I do take offense to people calling people that go there drunks, calling it a dive bar. None of that is true. I mean, you could look at my record. I have no DUIs. I have no alcohol-related problems. And any person I ran into there does not. These people should be more afraid of a bar up the road and the very fast road on Highway 11 that they could be hit by a drunk from that bar, not coming from the wine bar. It's a very nice run establishment. I've never seen a violation, and I just don't think it's right for people to talk down about the wine bar or the people that attend it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wish to speak on this issue? Again, is there anyone else wish to speak on this issue? Anyone else wish to speak on this issue?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Again, that will be the last word on this, so proceed with the rest of the meeting. What are the wishes of the board?
I'd like to ask someone, it appears that you cannot see the parking lot from the road from what I can see in the summertime. Is that correct? I mean, I was just there, but I would.
Yes. Would you like, are you asking staff to comment
Well, I'm
or
asking
someone in?
somebody that knows.
You cannot see the parking lot from the street.
At all.
Not at all. Yes,
There
at
are-
all. Yes, you can.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
Mark Schneider and myself went out and did an inspection of the property last summer. The parking is up by the pole building. However, prior to them applying to amend their conditional use permit in 2025, or I believe they applied for it in 2024, it went to the county board in February of, it went to the planning commission in February of 25 and to the county board in the spring. They had put a additional parking area, hoping that the county board would approve additional cars, and they had put it closer to the road. I believe that you could see it from the road, but when we were out there, they had cones on that parking area. It may have had Class 5 on it. Did it have Class 5 on it, Mark?
Yep.
And they had some cones on that area, but they had created a parking lot area closer to the road, but I don't believe they're using it, but it does exist.
As I recall, it was shown on their site plan.
Yeah, it shows, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
When they asked to amend their
Kind of up in the
CUP,
north.
correct.
Up in the northeast corner?
Yep, but that was denied by the county board.
So this is where their parking area currently is. So if you're looking at that, we're probably talking
right
150 feet from
Yeah.
the right of way, 200 feet from the right of way.
And Mark, can you show where they created the new parking area that's still there, but that we don't believe that they're utilizing
It
it?
was right there.
Yep.
So yeah, Lynn was accurate. There were cones up there that was not for parking. And they did have parking kind of spots marked off in this area right here, which is part of their CUP.
Thank you. Another comment I'll make, it appears to me that a lot of the confusion is the bar open till 6 or can you sell wine till 6? And we probably all went to a saloon or so and had them flash the lights on and off. I mean, it happened to me in my younger years. But I think maybe clarification in the conditions should have been warranted possibly, because it leaves it open to interpretation and some confusion.
I feel that's a gray area
Yes.
at the time.
Yes.
Gray area at a time, but what's not gray area is food trucks and live music, and that was blatantly disregarded. So I'm actually not worried about cars leaving at that point, because as many people stated, you're gonna stick around, you're gonna have a cigarette, you're gonna talk. You can talk at a personal level, and the business can be closed. So I'm actually not worried about them leaving. But they blatantly disregarded the first time around, so what's for us to think that they're not gonna do it the next time?
Well, I'm in favor of small business in areas because that's, small business become big business. Now, there has been some hiccups in this, and but I do support small business. I would wish this had worked out a little better, but.
Mr. Chair?
Sir.
I have a comment. My support for this CUP was because it was a farm-related business. And I like to think that we, Sherburne County being agricultural, that's our bread and butter, that's why I supported it the first time. I believe we've moved past it being a farm-related business, and now it's just a bar. And I don't believe that bar should be in a residential area. So for that reason, I would not support continuing this CUP.
Any other comments?
I think I'm going to have to agree there that a bar doesn't belong there. I am in full support of them making their own wine, them selling their wine. The business part of it, I am in full support of. It's the bar part that's concerning me in the residential neighborhood. There are others in the area that are similar to this, that are on significantly larger properties, and it works very well. They have ample parking lot. The music is not carrying past their lot. A 5-acre lot concerns me in terms of music. I know a lot of folks said they enjoyed the music there, which I would enjoy the music too at a live event. But it's hard to say that the music isn't being loud when you're the one enjoying the music. It's a lot easier to say you are not enjoying the music when you're next door and you don't want to hear that music.
They do not have music anymore.
Correct. They do not. And I do believe that stopped last year. It concerns me that they blatantly disregarded that right out of the gate, though.
What are the wishes of the board?
Well, I got a question is, I'd like to know who's actually looking over this as far as these cars that are leaving? Who's looking at that and who's turning that in? Is the county doing that? Is the neighbors doing that? Who is doing that?
The county has been out there in the evenings utilizing staff time on a weekend to count vehicles that leave after the bar was supposed to be closed. We also get complaints from neighbors, and we hear about it that way as well.
I really feel that if they can't see the cars, and is it?
Watching them leave.
Pardon me?
It appears, if you look at the minutes, they're watching them leave.
Correct.
It's not the count of 20, it's actually when they're exiting the property.
But it's family, it's staff, it's employees, or it's customers.
Mr. Chair, I would like to be clear that condition number 14 of the existing permit states that there can be no employees other than residents of the property. So,
Correct.
not friends, not their children. The only two people, to the best of my knowledge, that live on the property are Mr. and Mrs. Zimmerman, so they should be the only employees and the only people working there per condition 14.
I do have a question. Does that count volunteers? Is that an employee? Or is it only paid?
I believe the intent of that was it should only be the people that live there should be working there.
So regardless of pay?
That's the way I think the intent was of Planning Commission at the time, and someone could certainly correct me if I'm in error.
Now, according to past minutes, that was the discussion. That's why I requested those minutes. And I know the daughter stated that she doesn't live there, but it's still her home. But I believe the daughter came to the mic, she gave a different address. So she is not a resident. So that would fall in line with being over.
And if we did amend the CUP, that is something I'd actually like to see on there, is family members could work it. I mean, if it's a family business, even if they're not on site.
But you know, when you talk about family, so
You'd
your
have to-
definition of family,
you'd have to
my
outline
definition
it.
of
I
family
know.
could be really different.
You would have to write it very clear on that, so there's no interpretation. Because otherwise, I agree. You could have a second cousin that is not working, and that's
Second cousin related to my brother's sister.
exactly.
I get it. But
So
I
it
don't
would have to be very clear in there for me.
But that conversation was very clear before this same, well, many members of this same board about who would be running
Yep, and I was
the
not here when
business
that
and
happened.
who
Yep.
would be serving, and it was basically residents of the property. Not a neighbor volunteering or a daughter who came in to help mom and dad. I guess the other comment I would like to make is, unless I understand it differently, this is an open-air bar. Am I right? So there's not a door to lock, which means as long as you're on property, you're at the bar, because it's an open-air bar. It doesn't have a door, doesn't have a gate to close. It is an open-air bar. And I know some of you have made the comment, standing around talking after hours. I get that. I've lived in my neighborhood since 1984 and can barely walk the neighborhood without getting stopped. I get that. The difference is on those 10 weekends, correct?
Could be, I don't know off the top of my head.
I did the math.
Thank you.
But I'm not a mathematician, so I'm a preschool teacher. But I can count to 10. Standing around talking after hours on a non-event night is no big deal. But if you're gonna hang out there after, you're still at the bar, because it is an open-air venue. That's what it is. I know one of them said that they don't want to be policed. Part of being at that bar, part of being a patron of that bar is it's under a CUP. It's in a neighborhood. You are going to be policed. That's part of the CUP. Friends come and go. They can have neighbors over if they want. They certainly can. But when it comes to the venue and what it looks like on those events, no, you leave with, you're a patron, whether you're a neighbor or a friend of the daughters who came up from the cities and got caught in traffic, you leave, because that's the nature of the CUP. And that's what I have a lot of issue with that, especially when we have neighbors who are not patrons are significantly concerned. I have a lot of concern about that. It seems extremely gray, almost powder white. Also, I heard many people say it's divided the neighborhood, even to the point of a restraining order attempt.
Are there any other comments? If not, what are the wishes of the board?
Well, as me from San Diego Township and our board members, we'd like to see the small business in place. We would like to see changes, but we don't want to see it revoked.
You don't want what?
Want to see this revoked, CUP revoked.
Are you gonna make a motion in that, to that effect?
I will make a motion in that effect.
Is there a second? So basically, you don't want to see it revoked.
Nope, with changes.
What changes would you like to see? We need that clarification, please.
Well, we got a lot of gray areas here. I mean, you go to a restaurant and you order your food at the last few minutes, you get kicked out? No, you just stick around and you finish it, right? You go to a bar and you have it the last 10 minutes because they shut it down in 10 minutes. You want them to guzzle their wine down and then take off? Or do you want them to have to-go cup? You don't want that. Let them drink their wine. If they leave a half hour later, what's the big deal?
So you want to extend the parking time till 6:30, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because they're only open so many few days of the month or summer,
Uh-huh.
that why would you take it from 6 to 5:30?
Mr. Chair, I think we'd have to go through you've got, the county prepared some conditions, is that correct? I'm reading this right here?
Well, on item number 8, which was the days and hours of operation, if you chose not to revoke, the initial thought was all guests and customers must be off the property no later than the hours listed above. The other option is we could add something that says within, all customers have to leave within 30 minutes of bar close. So that gives them an extra half an hour. So if they close at 6 o'clock on Friday and Saturday night, everybody's got to be off the property by 6:30. You could make it 7, as long as we have it clear. I don't know that staff minds what time, maybe the neighbors do mind. Sundays, it's 5 o'clock, we could say 5:30, or you could say 6 o'clock. But just that we'd have that clarity that everybody's got to be off. A half an hour to drink a glass of wine should suffice, one would think. And then we wouldn't have that confusion.
But then we have confusion about who's a guest and who's a customer. Because now I'm a neighbor, nope, I'm a daughter. I'm a friend of my daughter's, and I really didn't come to the bar, I provided a ride. I mean, I think it should be tighter, if this is the direction we're going. So it should be, everybody should be gone but the residents who live there.
I disagree. I think that I have people come to my house 2-3 nights a week visit.
But you don't have a CUP on your property.
Correct, but we still have friends. We all have friends that come
And you've
over-
got
that come
a
over and
lot of
visit.
other days and weekends to do it.
So you're saying that your friends shouldn't be able to come over 10 weekends a year?
If you decide to have a CUP, yes.
I mean, that's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, okay, now what if they, shut down the bar and they leave? Does that count as one of these cars leaving out of the driveway?
Who?
The property owners. You say they're done and that, and they get in their car and they take off. Well, whoever's counting sees that car go out, and that counts for,
No.
well, I mean,
No.
how do you know not? How do you know it's not someone?
No,
You know what I'm saying? How do you know it's not
I
their
do,
car?
but I don't agree with it.
I think you're right. If we choose not to revoke, there needs to be some clarity, as Ms. Wojtaszek said, as far as the time is concerned, but I think an additional 30 minutes is reasonable because, you just can't cut it off right at 6 o'clock, so.
I agree with that, Ike.
Jeff, how do you want your motion to be read?
Is that gonna, Lynn, is that gonna be another condition, or do we amend condition 8?
I think we would amend condition 8 and state something to the effect that all patrons must be off the property within 30 minutes of bar close, period. I don't think
sense.
anyone can argue that that's not clear and concise.
Sure, I got a question.
So is a neighbor a patron? Glenn,
Excuse me?
is a neighbor a patron?
If the neighbor was there drinking in the afternoon, and I would say they would have to leave then because they're a patron at that point.
If he was a
But at
cash
what point
customer
can they-
sometime during the day,
Yep.
you have to leave, you're saying.
But at what point can someone come
How would
back
you
over?
possibly police?
Well, and that's the challenge that we have, is having a bar in a residential area is very challenging to police. You're not in a commercial district, it does make it more challenging.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of those things, if their neighbor comes over to borrow something, and we're gonna sit there and police that, it's ridiculous. And we can't just tell them they can't have any friends over on the night where they have.
Everyone's seen these conditions.
And I understand your point, Kathy, of
Seen these conditions.
that's something you're giving up, and I agree, you're giving up some rights, but you can't
Can I-
completely give up your right to your friends and family. 'Cause at that point, the daughter can't come
I'm sure
over
they have
on
too, but
the night that they're, I mean, well, what if the daughter wants to stay for dinner?
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks.
it's a gray area.
It's a very gray area. I'm not in support of a lot of this, but that is one is policing that and trying to support that is
But if
basically
you look at,
impossible.
if you look at the complaints, you look at the letters, you look at all of the comments, it's hard to leave the property on time. Volunteers, I volunteer, I don't live there. It's uncalled for to be policed. I'm a guest, I'm a visitor, I'm a friend. There appears to be a sense of entitlement to come if I'm a neighbor. And I can hang out after hours if I want.
But that's the thing, what if they're not coming there to drink? What if they're coming to go borrow a tool?
Who's gonna dictate that?
But that's the problem.
And then
I
how
have
do you
with it.
police that?
No.
Police that? It's still gray, very gray.
still would like to see that number 8, we changed the time to 6:30.
I would say half an hour after close, because
Yeah.
on Sundays, it's
they-
5
A
o'clock.
half hour after close.
Yeah, thank you.
Does,
That motion's been made. Could I
say-
ask the applicants to get back to the podium, please? Now, we don't have a second yet, but are the applicants aware of the proposed 18 conditions? And,
We are.
and you can
Mr.
abide by them?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, was there a second?
No.
Was there a
Oh, there
motion
wasn't yet.
before?
No,
All right, you're just asking questions?
I'm just asking
All right,
them to
thank you.
make sure they're clear on it, so.
Thank you.
But we've got a motion in front of us to amend the conditions with condition 8 stating that permitted hours of operations are 6 to 12, beg your pardon, 12 to 6 on Fridays and Saturdays, 12 to 5 on Sundays. All guest customers must be off the property no later than 30 minutes after closing.
Correct.
Are we going to change the conditions here and then vote on it? Or does it all have to be in one?
I think that was the motion that was made. We don't have a second yet. But
And also, also to reiterate to the group, number 14, there may be no employees other than residents of the property. Lynn and, can't read your name.
Dawn.
Dawn, hi Dawn. Are volunteers, quote unquote, who are not living there considered employees?
So under the Sherburne County ordinance, the zoning administrator is responsible for any interpretation. To the extent that there needs to be interpretation, the condition 14 says there may be no employees other than residents of the property.
And that was the discussion in the minutes that I read.
And I believe the intent of that is that the only 2 people working and selling wine on the property would be Mr. and Mrs. Zimmerman. That's what I believe that intent was, and if we need to clarify that, that may be a great idea.
If we're going to clarify, I would like to have the daughter and any other children exempt, because it is a family business at that point. So if we have to call that out, that immediate children and children only, I would like to see that, because then it removes some of the gray area of daughters coming, going for dinner, or working there or not working there. It removes some of that if she, and I don't know if there's siblings, if they are removed or exempt, excuse me.
What about a buddy that drove them up because traffic's heavy?
They're not exempt, they got to go.
Well,
But that's one way to get rid of gray area.
they can't work. They can still drink, they can't work.
I would actually be in favor of working, but that's for the whole board to decide. But for me, it's a family business.
Right, I agree.
Family business needs all the help it can get, but I realize they can't have all the help. They can't have the neighbors and everything, but to have children, I think is a very reasonable. That's why I do think children should be exempt from the work and from guests.
But the original conversation that we had about this was that it would be a small business run by those who lived there.
But we're not changing the capacity, we're not changing the cars, we're not changing the people that can work there, so it would still remain that small business. You know, it would give Zimmerman's potentially a day off if they needed one, or somebody had a bellyache or something, right? So,
Or if they were on vacation.
Yep.
That's poor planning.
Well, we have a motion from the gentleman from Santiago. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Could that motion be restated for the record, please?
The motion is basically to approve the revised recommended conditions if not revoked. And the 18 conditions, I believe, 18. And condition number 8 is amended. The last sentence reading, all guests/customers must be off the property no later than 30 minutes after closing. Is that correct?
Yep. Did we want to do 14 too with the employees, or do we do that later?
Do that now.
It's part of your motion.
Okay,
But are we gonna try to lump all these together, or should we do it item by item as each motion?
No,
No.
all together.
Okay.
okay.
So if you're gonna make a change, you're gonna make it now.
I would like to amend it to.
Not you.
Oh,
You
I was
didn't
gonna
make
say,
the
I was
motion.
gonna say, I don't think I
Can't
can.
do it. He's gotta do it. And then he's gotta agree.
So then I'll make the motion to, the employees will do immediate family only. Is that correct, all you want?
What condition was that?
14.
14,
Instead of immediate family, I still think that leaves it too open. I think,
I do
just
too.
children,
I think children,
immediate, okay,
children only.
children only.
Point of clarification, with the use of the term closing, what is the intent of the motioner concerning that?
So people have time.
Closing.
So
What is the intent concerning what closing means?
No, in number 8, it says 6 o'clock on Friday and Saturdays and 5 on Sundays.
Mr. Chair,
Sir.
I interpret closing as stopping service.
Correct.
That's how I've read this all along.
But they get a half hour after.
Plus a half hour to depart, but closing is stopping service.
Yeah.
Last call.
Yes.
However, the motioner and/or commissioners choose to enumerate that, I would just ask that that be clear in any motion or in any amendment going forward.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I think we'll call a roll call on this one, starting with the gentleman from San Diego.
Aye.
Nay.
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 Yes.
Aye.
Okay, so now where do we go?
So we think there were 3 votes in favor, Poppenfuss, Haas, and Abul, and the remaining, Kozlowski, Sims, Kozlowski, Kettering, Larson, Demules, and Van der Eyck opposed, so it will fail.
So then that puts us back to a motion to revoke.
Or the motion can also be to amend but recraft or discuss new or different amendments to the conditions.
I guess that warrants further discussion. Are there any other comments available? Thank you. Thanks for being there.
So Dawn, what are the options at this point?
So I believe that the board can choose to do nothing, leave things as they are. The board can choose to revoke the conditional use permit, in which case the recommendation would be to go through all of the questions that were previously posed, the 5 questions by ordinance, and have specific findings as to why those questions can no longer be answered in the affirmative. The board can also choose to amend the CUP with conditions that clarify any outstanding condition that you believe lacks clarity or requires some more specificity at this point.
You're talking about the findings of the conditional use permit findings,
Correct.
not injurious to enjoyment of properties, establishment, normal and orderly development, that one, correct? Those
Correct.
5?
Yes.
Okay. Adequate measures to take into control odors, fumes, dust, noise, vibration.
you on?
25. The minutes from 25.
I've got a copy if anybody needs one. I got them from both April 23 and February
You
2025.
have the 5 conditions.
Pardon?
5 conditions, do you have that in there?
Yes, I do.
Mark, can you pull up the minutes from the April 20th, 2023 Planning Commission, which has the conditions for the CUP?
We go back to 23 or the amendments from 25?
25 got denied, so
Oh,
we're gonna go to 23, which is what the
Oh, this is
conditions are.
You don't want this one. You want 23.
April?
Here's 23.
April, Mark.
Oh, you know what? I didn't print them all because I thought they were relevant. Don't pull them up.
Thank you. So what Mark has up is the findings from April of 2023.
Thank you.
Now, where do we go?
I feel we have to discuss number 1 and number 5 on here. I think 2, 3, and 4 are already covered and still remain true. There's plenty of parking there. Utilities and everything are handled, so it's really 1 and 5.
Correct.
So do we want to discuss number 1 first, and then we'll move to number 5?
I think 1 is probably our biggest stumbling block.
I agree.
Because there's a lot of conversation about a divided neighborhood, people being called names, surveillance cameras. I mean, it's obviously not a yes anymore.
And I do want to point out, I do think it's going both ways.
It's still going.
But it's still going.
It's still going. Wouldn't be going if it was not there. Not substantially diminish and impair property values. Oh, it's right here. Enjoyment. Use and enjoyment of property in the immediate vicinity for the purpose already permitted.
I would like to comment that I feel like it's strayed away from a farm-related business, and as Steve had said, it's more of a bar.
Can you say that again?
Come again?
I feel like it has strayed away from a farm-related business, the original intent of the CUP, and has turned more into a bar.
So, again, I will ask, what are the wishes of the board?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I would recommend to the county board to revoke the CUP. And I would go through these 5 conditions to elaborate on that.
Would you like me to read those? Or do we first have to have a motion and a second?
Motion in a second.
I'll second it. Let's get it on the table.
Been moved and seconded.
Any discussion?
I think I have to go through the findings.
It's going to have to go through the findings, yes.
Would you like me to start with that?
Let's start with that.
Number 1, that the conditional use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted, nor substantially diminish and impair property values within the immediate vicinity.
No. public hearing and the comments from the public and the emails that we have received, there has been numerous dissatisfaction with noise and cars and problems with the CUP.
Number two, that the
I'm sorry,
establishment.
I apologize. Could I ask you to elaborate on problems with the CUP?
Problems with the CUP have been people drinking and driving, noise, not abiding by the CUP conditions, again, noise in the neighborhood, and well, that's all I'm going to say.
Number two, that the establishment of the conditional use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding vacant property for uses predominant in the area.
I only knew what that meant. You know, it does impede the normal actions in a neighborhood when it is not necessarily a good fit, where we're selling alcohol in a neighborhood. So I would say no, for that reason.
Okay? Okay. Number three, that adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities have been or are being provided.
Yes, that has never been an issue.
Number four, that adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide sufficient off-street parking and loading space to serve the proposed use.
Yes, the parking was adequate for the original CUP.
And number five, that adequate measures have been or will be taken to prevent or control offensive odor, fumes, dust, noise, and vibration, so that none of these will constitute a nuisance, and to control lighted signs and other lights in such a manner that no disturbance to neighboring properties will result.
No, with the violations that are on record, there have been issues with the signage, with too many cars after hours, loud music, selling food. We can go on and on, but yeah, there has. I do not believe that the applicant has taken adequate measures to take care of these issues.
Okay, it's been moved, seconded, findings of facts recited. Again, we'll have a roll call starting from Mr. Popperfuss.
Nay.
Aye.
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 Nay. Aye.
So 7-1 in favor of revoking.
2.
7 and 2 in favor of revoking.
That's what we'll recommend to the board.
That's what we'll recommend to the board. Again, any other comments from the Ms. Nyhouse?
No, unless any board members want to elaborate any further on reasons for the revocation, the violation history, or anything else that you think that is of note to carry over to the county board for your recommendations.
Is there anything else for the good of the cause?
I don't know where this fits, and maybe, Don, it doesn't fit, but the old IUP was a little bit difficult to manage because it didn't have a lot of clarity, especially in the two that we had talked about. So I think that added to the difficulty.
Are you saying, so if I understand correctly, and I think you said IUP, but I think you mean CUP.
CUP,
Yep.
sorry.
That there were enforcement issues ultimately with how the conditions were
Well, there was
placed.
Yep, enforcement issues, and even when it was clarified, those enforcement issues continued to be an issue for the applicant.
And do you think that was demonstrated by some of the discussion that occurred this evening?
Yes. I also would like to reiterate that people who were in favor most often were patrons that had been there and had enjoyed the establishment. People who were probably the most vocal against it were neighbors. At least that's what my notes say. And also the emails that we received and those that we got tonight.
I think that was summarized pretty nicely by the gentleman in the vest.
Correct. Patron, patron, patron. I mean,
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
I would
ma'am.
like to mention that this will go before the county board on December 16th at 9 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. I'll mention that this will go in front of the county board on December 16th at 9 a.m. Any other comments?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
This is